We're going to be starting with the scholarships pathway. So I will quickly play Mr. Joseph's bio and we will start with his session. Apologies for any inconveniences. Let me do that now.
Joseph Ogunsetire is an alumnus of the University of Ibadan, where he studied and graduated with a BSc in archaeology and anthropology. Having nurtured a special flair for the core scientific aspects of his discipline led him to apply for the ACMAT Erasmus Mundus Scholarship Program. Receiving this 2-year MSc program scholarship in 2021 launched him into the materialities of his discipline, where he became familiar with the numerous scientific methods and approaches instrumental to understanding both past and contemporary heritage materials. This MSc program that involved studying across 3 European universities in Portugal, Greece, and Italy came to an end with a final project that involved the use of elemental analyzer isotope ratio mass spectrometric technique to reconstruct the dietary patterns of a certain population in Portugal. Following the completion of the MSc program, he went on to pursue a PhD at the Department of Biomedical Sciences at the First University in New Zealand. As part of his doctoral research in population health, he is saddled with the responsibility of elucidating the stress patterns in a certain demography by analyzing cortisol levels in a certain human tissue, while also providing a comprehensive timeline of potential environmental toxin exposures. He shares most of his academic journey, scholarship tips, and strategies on YouTube and is open to collaborating with other people with similar research interest. Distinguished guest, join me in welcoming our accomplished and inspirational speaker, Joseph Ogunsetire.
Over to you, Mr. Joseph. So good to have you here.
Ms. Oluwafunmilayo, thank you for having me on this amazing webinar series that I believe is going to touch the lives of Nigerian graduates and also NYSC graduates, I would say. If you guys are currently under my voice, you can hear what I'm saying, and you attended this series, I think you are in the right place, basically, because for somebody like me, right, when I was doing my NYSC, I never had any opportunity to get on something like this to kind of know what I am going to face in the future, basically. So I count every one of you lucky, 100% lucky. And I also want to use this opportunity to appreciate the emerging leaders collective and also own NYC, because you guys have been doing amazing jobs. I've been seeing your post on different social media platforms, and then I'll be like, oh my God, what is happening? You can imagine I'll come out from the lab and then I see Joseph has been tagged to a post on LinkedIn. Joseph has been tagged to, so it's really a very big sacrifice. People might not actually know what all of this is until when they get into the whole process and then they start seeing results. That is when they become very much appreciative. So once again, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate. So I have my PowerPoint presentation. I wouldn't want to waste more time because I have just 30 minutes to do my presentation. So I'll just share my slide shortly. So let's see how that works. Yeah. Where are you, bro? Let's see. I don't know. Every time I always look for slides as if I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay. I think I get it now. Yeah. So guys, can you see my slide? Let me minimize this.
Oh. Yeah. But you want to put it in presenter mode?
Yeah, I'm going to do that shortly. Slideshow. Come on. From beginning. So you guys can see my slide, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, welcome to the Post-NYSC Career Compass webinar series. I have been listening to Miss Oluwafunmilayo, how she has been welcoming a lot of people from Lagos, Abuja, our brothers and sisters from Ghana, Accra. Love you guys so much. I never believed that you guys are going to be, enthusiastic about something like this. From that kind of attitude, I think a lot of our youth are beginning to wake up to understand that there are opportunities out there, and they are wearing that character, that attitude that is going to make them to explore most of these amazing opportunities. So today I'll be talking about scholarship pathways, and I'll just appreciate for you guys to pay rapt attention to whatsoever it is that I'll be sharing with you all, because trust me, I am 100% happy to be doing this, because I have come across a lot of university graduates who are oblivious of the next line of action to take when it comes to their future and some of their expectations. And for somebody like me, I 100% understand them, because I've actually been in their position, and trust me, it can be so demotivating, it can be so devastating. After you must have finished from a university, you graduated with a first class or a 2-1, and then you don't even know what you don't even know your fate. Like, it is not something that I wish for anybody, even though sadly it is the reality of so many of us. But then let's make progress. So just a background information about me, Joseph Babatunde Ogunsetire. I would just like to tell you guys that I graduated from the University of Ibadan, and that was in 2019, where I bagged the Bachelor's of Science in Archaeology and Anthropology. And same year, I would say I was called for my NYSC, right, the National Youth Service. So I served in Ogun State, Ota to be precise, and I was a teacher then, a secondary school teacher. So it was really a time for me to really like look at myself, a time to become very humble. The idea of, oh, I want to go for my NYC, I want to serve my fatherland, I want to do this, I want to make my family proud, all of that stuff. It is actually an amazing thing. But for me, right, I realized later that it wasn't really the way people projected it. It wasn't really the way people painted it. If you are under my voice and you are still on campus, I am not trying to say any negative thing that will make you feel like, oh, so NYC is just something that is irrelevant. No, no, that is not the message I'm passing. I mean, during your NYC, you get exposed. There are some things that you definitely understand about the country. Some of you, you've not even left your state of origin, or you've not even left the state that you studied, right? So this is just going to give you that platform to move around, get to understand what Nigeria is all about, get to meet people, understand their different cultures and all of that. But then NYC is that period where you really want to explore different opportunities, and I'll talk about that in subsequent slide. So for my during my NYC, I was thinking, right, what do I do? Like, how do I position myself? Because I, for one, that studied a bachelor's in archaeology and anthropology, right? I've always been thinking that I do not necessarily like the historical aspect of my discipline. It is very important. Maybe the word like shouldn't have come in, but I was kind of overwhelmed with the whole of this history, because my supervisor normally says something. He says that an academic background, right, that does not in a way put the nation or put a country in the world map will be relegated to the background. Now, I'm not saying that my background is actually irrelevant in a way, but the way Nigeria takes discipline like archaeology and anthropology, they don't really put a lot of focus on such kinds of discipline. So I began to ask myself that, bro, you have to face reality. There is fire on the mountain. The country sadly has nothing to offer you. So you need to think outside the box. And that was where I started to think. In fact, I took all of my thoughts into my NYSC. I kept on, going back and forth, thinking it through, and I was just looking for that opportunity. And during my NYSC, I went for a diploma in um, this British International Safety Organization. It has to do with health, education. We talk about how you can do environmental impact assessment, because I knew that it was in a way related to my discipline, to archaeology, because we do a lot of environmental impact assessments. Even though in Nigeria it is not something that is big, but it is something that is very, very important. For instance, before any developmental works will take place in a country, archaeologists are supposed to be on ground, anthropologists are supposed to be on ground to understand, some of the objects or some of the materials that are unearthed from the archaeological record. But sadly, these things are not done, and that is why students or graduates from this department or with this academic background are seen as, I wouldn't say useless, but are seen as irrelevant, because they don't know their value, they don't know their use. And I will explain more, in subsequent slide. So um I did my NYC, got that certificate because I knew it was going to come, it was going to be important for the place that I'm going to, for the journey ahead. And 2020 was when I decided to volunteer as a graduate field research assistant to one lecturer from the University of Nsukka. The guy carried out a research in the southeastern part of Nigeria. So I saw it as an avenue for me to, volunteer, like help the guy, because I knew, again, guys, I knew where I was going. So before my NYC, right, before my NYC came to an end, luckily a friend of mine got the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters degree scholarship. And like I said initially, I've been asking myself, what do I do next? What do I do next? I got admission into University of Ibadan to do my master's, but I was asking myself, where do I get the money to fund these academic pursuits? Because I wouldn't want to be a financial burden to my parents anymore. Now, this does not mean that if your parents has the financial capacity to, pay your school fees, you should become adamant. No, you shouldn't become adamant, because they are your parents, you are their responsibility, right? So if they choose to give you money for your education, take the money. Gladly take the money. So don't feel like, oh, I'm disturbing my parents, even if that kind of feelings, they are going to come up, right? They are going to come up. But yeah, so 2021, I also volunteered for a professor from North Carolina University in the United States of America. The guy came over to Nigeria for one of his research. I decided to volunteer because, again, guys, I knew where I was going. Please listen to everything that I'm saying. I was gathering my value, I was building my profile. I don't just go to places that are irrelevant to volunteer. I go to places that I know will add value to my portfolio, because I already have an idea of a scholarship which my friend told me about that he got. So I was trying to gather, those important things that will help build my CV and that will solidify, me as a very good candidate for whatsoever it is that I will be applying moving forward. So 2021 was actually the same year I got the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Degree Scholarship. After all of the whole preparation, writing, motivation letter, CV, drafting, and all of that, I got that scholarship. And that was it. 2022, I was lucky to get an opportunity as a visiting research intern and scholar, which was something that is not really common, because I was pursuing my master's, right, in Europe. And I saw that opportunity. I just decided to apply. And luckily for me, I was picked, and I did all of this in Portugal. And a part of it was actually done in the United States of America. So I was just trying to make sure that I put myself more in the scientific aspect of my discipline because I like the science a lot. I'm not really a fan of the historical because I have my own personal experiences. I've written papers, and then because my paper lacked scientific integrity, scientific voice, I I received a lot of rejection. So, moving forward, I said, okay, if it is not scientific, I am not participating. So that was what I told myself. So, during my master's, that was a period where I tried to gather a lot of scientific knowledge because I knew that it was also going to help me moving forward when I want to apply for a PhD, or probably if I want to get a job abroad. 2024 was when I, rounded up my master's, and then currently, I'm doing my PhD here in the University of Otago in New Zealand. So let's move forward. Now, life on campus and during NYSC, attitude and character. My slides are straightforward, straight to the point. You won't find so many things. So just pay attention to what it is that I'll be saying. So life on campus is actually very important for students that are currently pursuing any program. I would use this opportunity to really beg you that please, first and foremost, try to graduate with a very good grade. Graduate with a first class, try to hit first class, or try to hit 2-1. You guys can ask me series of questions after this presentation. I know some of you will be like, oh my God, this guy is here again talking about first class and 2-1. What about 2-2? You can ask questions, and I'll be very much glad to respond to your question. So, attitude, academic character, networking. What is your relationship with your lecturers? Very important, because these people, whether you like it or not, you will need them moving forward. These are the people that will write reference letters for you. I have come across so many students, graduate students, that are, complaining about the fact that they cannot go back to their lecturer because they had like a fallout, or probably they were not in good terms. And in my head, I'm like, so how did you even manage to graduate? What about your project, your final project? How did you handle it? What was the grade you got? Some of these things are very, very important because they will form the backbone of your CV when you start applying for scholarship opportunities. But so many people are not aware. They just feel like, oh, it's just a project, just do the project and get the hell out of the university, like I'm done. But no, when you want to start applying for scholarship, so far scholarship is something that you are looking out for. You definitely need the assistance of these people. And the reason I speak about your relationship with your lecturer is, or your supervisor, rather, is because your supervisor is that person that will not only write reference letter on your behalf, but he or she is that person that can also help you to get your first publication as a student in the university, even before you move to NYSC. That is for people that are from Nigeria. And during your NYSC, the publication can actually, pop up. But it is very, very important that you trigger that relationship right on campus, because immediately you leave campus, other students are also going to be the responsibilities of this supervisor. So they might not necessarily have your time anymore. So you really need to understand all of these important things. Now, it is not late for you to still go back to your supervisor and be like, oh, the project that we did, I am looking at the possibility of us publishing, a paper out of it. Or if we can just, write something like an essay, or maybe a preliminary research. Like, let's just get something out there, for the academic space to see, right? It is very, very important. These are, your evidence. This is an evidence that you are a researcher. Now, there is this will I say fallacy, or there is this belief amongst graduate students or amongst university students that they find it difficult to always see themselves as a researcher. Most university graduates feel that a professor is the person that can be a researcher, or maybe a doctor is that person that is, that qualifies to be a researcher. But I tell students a lot that So far you are doing your undergraduate project, you are a researcher. Like, do you know that abroad, as a bachelor degree holder, you qualify for a senior position in top companies? So you really need to, see yourself as somebody that is very important. You really need to build that confidence. You really need to up your self-esteem, because that is who you are. You have a bachelor degree. You are a senior person in the society. You can influence policy making. You can do a lot of things. So it is until you get to that level of maturity, you are mature, but until you get to that level of understanding that this is who I am in the society, then you always see yourself as, a small person. You be very timid. You just be scared unnecessarily. So you have to really build that positive attitude. Like I said, grade is very, very important. It is better to have a good grade and not need it than to need a good grade and not have it. Now, from experience, whenever you want to apply for scholarship opportunities, once you get to the application website and then you are checking the requirements, they will always lay emphasis on grade. They are looking for people that are having 2-1 or first class. However, there are some scholarships that would not say explicitly that this is what we are looking for. They are just going to, go around it and say they are looking for students that are, brilliant students that have professional experiences, students that have worked, blah, 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 and stuff like that. But then don't be deceived. Grade is very important. And the reason I'm saying grade is important is because you are not the only person applying for that opportunity. There are several people applying for that opportunity. So try as much as possible to work on your grade while on campus. And if you are outside university, you've graduated, and then probably you graduated with a 2-2, try as much as possible to get other relevant, academic related experiences. Volunteer, contribute to research, network with people, publish papers if possible. Now, the reason you are doing all of this is because you know that you have a loophole, right? You know that you have like a gap to actually fill. So these are some other things that you can build on to show the guys that will be assessing your scholarship application that even though you are having this will I say negative, even though you are having this negative, you've tried as much as possible to put a lot of things in place moving forward. And I also tell university graduates who graduated with 2-2 that if it is possible, try as much as possible to quickly enroll. That is, if you have a 2-2 in your bachelor, try as much as possible to quickly enroll for a master's, because time is of the essence, whether you like it or not. Enroll for a master's, and while you are at it, while you are pursuing your master's, first year you've gotten like some part of your result, right? And I mean, the reason you are doing a master is because you want to be a better person, grade wise and experience wise. So I want to believe that your first year you already have like a solid result. So with that result, you can still, start applying for scholarship. So you are now having a master's that is ongoing and a bachelor's that you are already done with. So you are bringing two things together. So when you send your application out there, it is going to be different from a student that is just having a bachelor's, even if it is a first class. Now, most of these researchers, right, most of these professors, doctors out there that are looking for suitable candidates, they don't want somebody that they will struggle with. They are looking for people that already have idea of the field, people that are already exposed. And I will explain much of this in my subsequent slide, because this was really, really what helped me when I was also looking for a PhD. It really helped in that exposure, 100%. So that is that on attitude and character. Network. Your supervisor is your supervisor is the first platform for you to, get a solid beginning when it comes to looking for scholarship opportunities. And like I said, try as much as possible to get, even if it is just one publication. Scholarship bodies, they are not looking for people with 30 publication, 50 publication. Just have something. They know that during your undergraduate level, they know that what are you publishing? Like, let's not put that publication load on this student who is just a fresh graduate. But if you can have it, please have it, get it, because it will definitely single you out when you start applying for scholarship opportunities. So, how international scholarship works? I'll use Erasmus Mundus scholarship as an example because, luckily for me, I was the student representative for my cohort while I was pursuing the Erasmus program. And there are some things that I got to know because I always join them when we do like conference meeting. We talk about Erasmus scholarship, like for my program specific this time around. And our coordinators, they share a lot of information, how they pick students, why they want students from this country, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. So I feel this is going to be a valuable information for those of you that will be looking forward to applying for this Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So the Erasmus Mundus scholarship is a joint master's degree scholarship where you have to study across maximum 4 European countries, and at the end of your study you get your like degree. That's your master's degree from the 4 countries, sometimes 3 countries, sometimes two, and sometimes one, regardless of the amount or regardless of the number of universities that you study in. So for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Scholarship, when people apply for this scholarship and then they don't get the scholarship, they feel very bad. They think, oh, my portfolio is not good enough, my CV is trash, my motivation letter was not compelling, blah, blah, blah. But I tell them that no, Erasmus Mundus scholarship works in a certain way. I tell students that you have to be very, very strategic. Scholarship application is about strategy. You have to be very, very strategic. Garbage in, garbage out. If you put trash, you get trash. 100%. It is not even, this is not an emotional thing. These people are facing facts. So if they want to spend money on any student, they are looking for a student that really show that potential, that they are bringing something to that program, and that they are going to also be willing to take something out and make the program to be something that other people would want to come and pursue in the future. So for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree scholarship, before you apply, it is very, very important that you know when the scholarship got grants, the last time the scholarship was given grant, because it is going to affect the number of people that they are going to give full scholarship, like in subsequent course, right? Like course. So you have to know the grants, when they got their last grants. You also have to know the number of students that got that scholarship from your country, like the previous number before you apply. You see that you have a lot of things to really do as a graduate. So you really need to network, go on LinkedIn, search the scholarship out. Most students or most alumnus or alumni that they are done with the program, they always have like the program as part of their bio, so you can network with people. Sometimes you send them messages, they don't respond to your messages. It doesn't mean that they are heartless or they are wicked. For real, a lot of people are busy abroad, like crazily busy. So you should also put yourself in their shoes and understand that, okay, if I don't get this one, I think I can get another person. And sometimes it does not really matter if you do not get somebody exactly from the program you want to apply to. You can reach out to some other people that got other programs, and they can just give you, some tips, enlighten you on how to go about it and stuff like that. So very, very important. Now, coming back to the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Scholarship proper, there is a way the scholarship works. Sometimes it takes maximum of 3 students from a country. Say, for instance, if I apply for Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree scholarship program in archaeological material science, and 5 other people applied for this same scholarship, they are going to, scrutinize everything, like assess all of our application documents, and then in the long run, or finally, they are going to award only 3 people, maximum 3 people. I don't know if they like get 4, but this will also depend on grant availability. So that is why I said you have to go and check. And the reason I'm saying that you have to go and check again is that when you check with the program, when they got their grant and when the grant is going to elapse, it will trigger this it will trigger this sense in you to be like, okay, if this grant is actually going to elapse next year, it means that the grant is no longer that much. So maybe they are going to pick few people. So it helps you to widen your option. And by that, I'm talking about you going to, explore other programs together with the program that you now understand is not really having a lot of grants. So now, Erasmus, you can apply to maximum, I think 5. You can apply to a like quite a number of programs right now. During our own time, we could only apply to a maximum of 3 programs. So you can see that we had limitation. Right now, you guys can apply to so many programs. But I always advise students that, you don't really have that time to be applying to 10 programs. If you can pick 3 programs that are very suitable, like programs that are 100% related to your bachelor's degree, or if you already have a master's, that are related. You have to look for that relatedness. It is very, very important. You don't want to use a bachelor degree in physics to go and be applying for applied arts. It doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, I love applied arts. Moving forward, that is the master's I want. So I'm a graduate with physics and I want to go and apply. No, the people will just be looking. You are the one fantasizing. The people are there. They are the ones giving the scholarship. They will just be looking at you. Is this person, do you understand what you are doing? So you need to look for that, that connection. You really need to read about the program, understand where you come in with your bachelor's degree or with your master's degree. It is very, 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 very important. So Erasmus will take 3 students maximum, and other students will get rejection. And now the other students, they might actually be very good when you look at their academic background, first class. I have seen where a first class student got a rejection and a 2-1 was actually given a full scholarship under Erasmus. So things really happen, and sometimes it might be as a result of the 2-1 students actually outperform the first class students during the interview. During the interview, because some of the Erasmus Mundus joint master's degree program, they organize interview. My program also organized an interview. I interviewed with them. They asked me crazy questions. I answered all of their questions, and in the long run, I got the Erasmus scholarship. So this whole thing of how international scholarship works, it is not really a rocket science. It is something that is easy, and that is why I advise students most of the time to read. It is very important. If you want to apply for a program, you need to read about that program, study the program from A to Z, understand the scope of the program, understand the aim of the program. Because when you know the scope of the program and the aim of the program, it would direct you, or it will guide you on how to structure your CV and also how to write your motivation letter. If you don't know what that program is all about, there is no way you can write a compelling motivation letter that will speak to the program and that will put you, in the limelight. It is impossible. It is impossible. You will just go and generate a motivation letter that is generic, and when they read it, they know that this person is out of touch. This person does not really understand what he or she is coming for, and they are not going to give you that scholarship. So we really need to face things as they are, because these are some of the things that people gloss over and they pay moving forward. So I wouldn't want you to be at the disadvantaged position. So talking about international scholarship again, there are several ways you can actually look for scholarship. Sometimes if you are not getting a fully funded scholarship like Erasmus, Chevening, MasterCard, roads, like different kinds of scholarships, Stipendum, Hungaricum. There are so many scholarships there. Turkey, Boslari, so many. If you are not applying for any of these scholarships, you can also get a graduate teaching assistant position with a professor or a potential supervisor in any part of the world, in any university. So that's like another way of getting scholarship, right? You are going to reach out to those people via cold emailing, and then when you get positive response from them, they like your profile, they like your research experiences. There is this like connection between you and the researcher you want to work with. Then they can welcome you into their project per se. Or if you have pitched something to them and they like it, and they have grants or they have funds to fund that project, they can bring you on board, and then you start pursuing what you are pursuing. So that's like another way of getting scholarship abroad. A lot of people don't really know this. So many people are always saying, oh, how do I get fully funded scholarship? There are several ways you can get scholarship. Sometimes you can even apply to universities. You get admission, and then the university advises that you can apply for scholarship, and then you apply for the scholarship. They are just going to do a lot of shuffling, check the suitable candidate that can get that scholarship, and then they award the scholarship to people that merit the scholarship. That's like another way. So there are so many ways you can get fully funded scholarship to pursue your master's or your PhD abroad. So how to identify suitable scholarship programs and academic pathways after NYSC. I think this is straightforward, and I want to believe I've touched on. Sorry, someone is raising their hands.
That's me. I've been trying to reach you.
Oh my God, I've just been talking and talking. So yeah, what's the issue? You want to say something?
I know, just to tell you that you have
Time, right?
around, yes, thank you.
How much of time do I have?
2 minutes
Okay.
so that you can
Oh,
pick some questions.
oh
Yeah.
my God. So yeah, talking about how to identify suitable scholarship programs and academic pathways after NYC, it's not something that is so difficult. I mean, if for instance I send you a scholarship link, all you need to do is just to read about the scholarship, ask questions on how to go about it. You will definitely see everything you need to know on the scholarship website, because they will put the requirements, they will show you the timeline, when you are to apply, when it is going to close, and when you expect to get a response from them. So all of these things are straightforward. But the problem is, if you don't know, if you don't know, you don't know. But now you know. So it's not really a difficult thing to identify suitable scholarships. And also, one way you can actually know that this scholarship is suitable is when the scholarship program covers most of the things that you've done during your bachelor's. Like I said, you cannot take a physics degree certificate to go and apply for a program that is applied arts, and you want to get a fully funded scholarship. That's like a misfire. So you don't want to do that. So you need to really you need to be looking for physics related scholarship, master's program, or PhD program. So that's can actually confirm your suitability. So it is straightforward. It is not something that we should go back and forth with. So a strong scholarship application, statement of purpose, academic CV, recommendation letter. I think I've spoken about recommendation letter. Try as much as possible, build that relationship with your lecturer, because they are the ones that will provide recommendation letter for you, especially when you are looking for academic related fully funded scholarship opportunities. They will write on your behalf. They know you very well. In fact, the scholarship would in most cases ask that your supervisor sends at least one recommendation letter should come from one of your university supervisor, especially the one that supervised you during your bachelor's. And for your academic CV, they would also, most of this scholarship will tell you how they want your CV to look like. They will tell you the maximum page limit that they want. So you really need to pay attention. And everything boils down to reading. You have to study, read. It is one thing for you to read, because that is your own responsibility. And it is another thing for you to reach out to people that have gotten the scholarship so that they can put you through. So when you've done your path and then you reach out to people, you make the life of those people to be easy. But when you've not read anything about the scholarship and you reach out to most of the people that have gotten scholarship or people that can give you 1 or 2 tips on how you can go about it, these people will know that you've not read about the scholarship and you tire them out, and most of them, they will just ghost you, and then you feel like, why is this person not responding to me? It is because you are becoming too much of a burden to them, and they have other very important things to actually do. So please, guys, try to show initiative. Statement of purpose is not something that is so difficult as well, even though it takes time for you to really know what to put in your statement of purpose and what not to put in your statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is scholarship program specific. It is not a place where you go and write about story, talk about how you were not eating 3 square meal and all of those things. No, you have to be very, very scientific, research oriented. Like when you write your motivation letter, they need to see that this person knows what he or she is doing and they know where they are going. You have to bring in different concepts from your field and also tailor everything to, to highlight most of the goals, most of the aims, most of the objectives of the scholarship program that you are applying for. I wouldn't want to talk too much. So for exploring NYSC for your advantage, please, finance is very important. I've met a lot of people, they are shouting currently that 70,000 that they are paying, how much is the money now? That the money is too small. Please, save your money because you will need it. A lot of you don't have your international passport. Now international passport is expensive. One of the ways you can foot the bill is to save your allowance. If you save 70K for 3 months, I'm not saying you are not going to use your money to do anything, but I mean, like, you know what you can save, right? You can afford all of these little things. It is for your own good, it is for your progress. And please, there is no limit to skilling up. Always skill up, get certification, go to Coursera, take courses that are related to the master's program that you want to apply for. Very, very important, because this would, up your CV, to strengthen your CV, and it will help you to be very, very competitive when you apply for scholarship. And also, please, network. There is this common saying amongst Nigerians, they say follow who know road. So there are people that have gone ahead of you. They already know how all of these things work. So make your life to be easy. Find those people. It is your responsibility to find them. Go on Twitter, go on Instagram, go on TikTok, go on Facebook, go on LinkedIn. Find people. See, this one alone is, I think this is even the main thing, because when you find the right person that can give you the right information, you will not struggle. But once you are not able to find people that can really point your attention to some things, you will always be frustrated. So you need that confidence. You need somebody that can tell you that, oh, what you are doing right now is bullshit. You don't need that. Put your head in this direction. It will make your life to be easier when you are looking for scholarship opportunities abroad. So should I apply now? Should I apply next year? Just apply, right? There is no time that you can be ready for any scholarship application. Apply. Highest you get is a yes or a no. But what if it is a yes? You never can tell. So apply. Thank you. That's my time. And if you have any question, I'll be willing to have your question. Sorry to the organizer. I think I took too much time. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph, for those
Yeah.
insightful tips that you have given us. Thank you so much. So any questions for Mr. Joseph? I will be handing over to Shalom. Are you here? Shalom is going to
Absolutely.
handle. Yeah, thank you. Are you able to turn on your camera for us so we can see your beautiful face?
My camera is on. I want to believe I'm seeing.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. So, Shalom, please, over to you. I am looking at you with big eyes. Our time is fast spent, so
I
warning
will try
eyes.
my best. I'll try my best. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. That was an enlightening session. I'm sure that we all learned something incredible here. So I want to know if we have any questions. Please drop your questions in the question and answer box. Meanwhile, whilst we're waiting for questions, I believe that this is something that has been on, that is probably on everyone's mind. So whilst you were speaking, you talked a lot about having a first class and having a second class upper. So I just want to know if by chance there is room for, people who have, second class lower and probably a third class, what opportunities are there for them with respect to scholarships? And also, is there room for them in the Erasmus? I want to believe I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Erasmus.
Erasmus, right? Okay, good stuff. Is there room
Yeah.
for them in that, scholarship? Are there opportunities for them, considering what they graduated with?
Mm. Well, like I said, right, graduating with a 2-2 or that's like second class lower, right, or a third class is not a death sentence. So
Right.
when you have that degree, it is not the time for you to start feeling bad. But what you do after you've graduated with that kind of a result is what really matters. I've seen somebody that graduated with a 2-2 and the person bagged the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Degree Scholarship. I've also seen recently a lady that graduated with a 2-2. I think she did agric economics, and then she got an admission in one university. I don't know, University of Salerno in Italy, if I am correct. Yeah, she got that scholarship in that university. So people that have graduated with 2-2, they normally get scholarship. It's just
Right.
that the chances are very slim. And the reason I'm saying that the chances are slim is because not everybody understand that when you graduate with a 2-2 or a third class, you need to up your game. You need to, start getting some other values, right? And when I say
Right.
values, those scientific exposures, volunteering, getting yourself into research, trying as much as possible to get publication, like putting yourself out there and networking. Somebody that is having that negative is even supposed to be the person that should be all out, because you already know that there is fire on the mountain. And now the guy that I spoke about, that got the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters degree scholarship, I think his program is social work related. The guy already has
Right.
an NGO. He has an NGO. He has been contributing like massively to the lives of rural people in rural communities. So these are track records that will speak for you regardless
Right.
of your academic standing. In fact, you
Mm.
can even sell yourself to the scholarship committee or the people that are awarding the scholarship. You can sell yourself
Right.
to them and be like, it is because of your NGO to some extent that you could not even really focus on university
Right.
coursework and stuff like that. But when
Right.
they see the impact, especially when the program is deeply rooted in whatsoever you've done in the past, there is just that room of compromise. I mean, they are the ones
Right.
giving the scholarship, so they can just be like, okay, we can give this individual because he or she already has a lot of contribution in this regard. So you graduated with a 2-2, you graduated with a third class, do something. Like, don't just sit down because you are not doing anything. First class people are also doing something. That is the irony. People that also graduated with a first class are getting certificates. They are enrolling for massive open online courses. Two ones are also doing the same thing. So if you graduated with a 2-2, don't sleep. Don't sleep. Don't sleep.
Okay, we got that absolutely in our heads. We are not going to sleep. So basically, from what you have said is, it's really not about the academic qualities or the academic qualification. What's more important is positioning and ensuring that you've done good stuff, even though or your academic qualification does not necessarily fit what they would naturally consider. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
got that. So we're going to do a lot more what do we call it now? A lot more humanitarian service. And even when we are in our workplace, put ourselves into it some more. Okay, so we are just going to take one question. Elizabeth has a question for you, and I'm hoping we can trash that in 1 minute. She said, my question is, with scholarships for the master's program, is there a turn-off when a person graduated from uni and there's a long year gap, like 5 to 8 years? Is there a possibility of that person getting scholarships as well? So
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's an amazing question. Most of these scholarship opportunities, they have their reserved sentiment, right? And sometimes we don't even know what these people considered before they award a scholarship to applicants. We don't know. Like, I'm going to be very real with you guys. Sometimes we don't even know how somebody was able to get a scholarship. But
right,
the thing is, that shouldn't be something that you should be bothered about. When you
right,
are talking about scholarship, right, what you should be bothered about is your academic background, your academic standing based on your grade, and also your research experience, and how you can use all of these, strategically to apply for a scholarship opportunity. Don't be
right,
bothered about the age, because these guys, they don't really care about your age. But then there are some
right.
scholarship that will state it explicitly that
Mm-hmm,
we want students that just graduated,
mm-hmm,
maybe this year, or probably students that are having a bachelor's degree that is 2 years old. Sometimes they
mm-hmm.
state all of those things. So that is why you need to really like read. But the main thing about scholarship application is not really for you to be bothered about when you graduated. Oh, it has been long. No, you shouldn't be
Right,
bothered about that. You should be bothered about, one, your academic background, your academic standing, and your experience, because these are the things that will speak for you. Nobody is going to be like, oh, this lady is 40, let's not give her this scholarship. No, they will look
mm-hmm,
at your experiences and be like, wow, this person is capable. So your capacity is based on what you have done and your academic
right,
standing, and not your age, in essence.
right, right. Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. That was good. And we have another question, but I don't think we'll be able to take it. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Joseph. I'll be handing over to Fumi to take it up from here. Enjoy your evening, even though I'm still with you. Thank you.